Hello, hello, hello. A very warm welcome to all our friends, viewers, stakeholders, fans of Africa Rise with Susan West. I can't believe we haven't broadcasted for over a week now. It's been crazy. Our schedule has been almost impossible. But what we do here is so important to us that no matter how difficult it gets, we try to make sure that we come on right. So as you join in into this broadcast, do the needful, which is invite other people, share this broadcast, and if you haven't liked, followed, or subscribed to our channels, please do so. It is Africa Rise TV on YouTube, Africa Rise TV on Facebook, and Africa_Rise.tv on Instagram. Yes, so there's been so much that's been going on, but before we go into that, we want to do something that we're beginning to introduce, which is celebrate the people that support us. And today we're going to be celebrating the birthday. Well, we're going to Africa Rise TV wishes Collins Wonodi a very happy birthday, but we have something we have put together for him just in a moment. That is cool.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Of course, a happy birthday to Washington Stanley. I know he doesn't like to be mentioned, but he's one of our biggest supporters on Africa Rise. So we have taken the liberty to celebrate him. So I do hope that he's not offended. He shouldn't be. So happy birthday, belated though. Happy birthday to Washington Stanley, my brother. Yes, welcome, John Nyaga Kamude and Beijing Maha. Sorry, I need something else because I think I'm unable to see some of the tiny little fonts on the screen. Yes. So yes, welcome. We're going to be talking Benjin Mahagub. I think that's from probably Ethiopia. I'm not sure. So welcome. As you join in, please share this broadcast, invite your friends, and we're having a flash guest episode, which means that anyone who is interested in making contributions to today's conversation, you're free to tell us that you want to come on screen, and we will bring you on screen to give your contribution. We're going to post the phone number that you can call via WhatsApp. All right. So if you have a WhatsApp, you don't have to worry about calling cards. You just call via WhatsApp and we will be able to bring you on. Well, anyway, don't call. Yes, don't call. I just realized what you need to do is type in the comment section, say flash guest, and we will inbox you the link to join today's broadcast. We're going to be talking a lot of trending things on the African continent, and some of it not directly the African issue, but in the long run, it's something that will gravely and greatly affect Africa and Africans on the continent. Yes, welcome everyone. So we're going to be talking first. We want to start on a lighter note. We want to talk about we want to commend Ghana and the giant strides Ghana is making in making sure that her citizens are respected, and the Committee of Nations are beginning to take notice of Ghana's strides and respecting Ghana in the sense that now Ghanaians will be able to travel to the United Arab Emirates, popularly known as Dubai, visa free. And so we want to talk about these things. So if you want to come on, just type in flash guest in the comment section. We will send you a link and you'll be able to join us. But in the meantime, I already have a guest my brother who's waiting to rub minds with me. Today is impromptu, so feel free. Starman Alpha will be joining us to have this conversation. And of course, we're going to go down all the way to Nigeria to also talk about the, the government and the crackdown on journalists and media houses. And just for the simple reason of inviting someone to your studios and having interviews and asking pertinent questions, the questions that a journalist should ask, then you're invited or you're threatened to a certain degree, even though they deny that's what it's all about. And so, yes, let's start with Ghana. And I will bring on Starman Alpha. Is Starman Alpha here? Yes.
Hi.
Starman Alpha.
Hi.
Yes, welcome.
How are you?
I'm good. Welcome. So really quickly,
Thank you.
I'm just trying so hard to make sure that we wrap up this broadcast today in the shortest time possible. Yeah. So let's go ahead and talk about Ghana. What Nana Akufo-Addo is doing in Ghana. Now, Ghana is beginning to have the kind of respect that we expect most African countries should be given, which is to be able to just get up with your passport and just buy a ticket and hop on a plane and go to a country that you choose, of your choosing. And the United Arab Emirates lately have done that for Ghana. And I know that not so long ago, Nigerians could arrive in Dubai and get a visa on arrival. And I'm not sure what that status is right now. What is your view on how far and how well Ghana is doing at the moment?
Ghana and Nigeria have somewhat similar histories going back from the slave trade, in that there were areas with so many different ethnic groups, but those ethnic groups were doing their own thing, but some of them were enslaving the others. Now, in Nigeria, the groups that were slave raiding were the Fulani and the Oyo Empire. In Benin, it was Dahomey. In Ghana, it was the Ashanti. But since independence, everything has kind of, everything kind of diverged. The similarities between Ghana and Nigeria, because from independence, Ghana is one of the few African countries that has had anything close to what you could remotely call, reconciliation of their pasts, including slavery and everything. Because the slave raiding group in Ghana, the Ashanti, they've apologized for all the slave raiding. That's not to say that everything is honky-dory in Ghana today, because the people from West want to secede. But largely, amongst the ethnic groups, they don't have nowhere near the kind of friction we have in Nigeria. And they've lived in the shadow of Nigeria, Nigeria being... Sorry?
For a long time. It was almost... Yes.
I mean, every African country was in Nigeria's shadow until, Nigeria kind of, just sold herself short and turned from giant of Africa, which was why everybody was in her shadow, to the ant of Africa. I mean, Nigeria today is a joke. Nigeria is an embarrassment, compared to Ghana.
We're going to get to that, but I want us to talk about, really focus on Ghana's achievements, and why Ghana is being given all these perks that come with, a country that is respected. Ghana's passport is beginning to carry a lot of weight. Yeah.
Now, apart from at the point of independence where the similarities between our histories ended. Like I said, they are the only people that have come close to anything you can call a reconciliation. Apart from that, sorry,
audio is gone.
My audio. Hello.
We can't hear
Hello.
you.
Can you hear me now?
Can everyone hear me?
I can hear you.
Sam, your audio is gone. If anyone can, if you guys can hear me, just please type in the comment section so I know that it's not our fault.
I can hear you.
Yeah, so we're talking about
Can you hear
Ghana's achievements and Ghana's recognition on the world stage and the respect Ghana is beginning to, get, basically. Rahina Bello, greetings, welcome. Sinovia Reedley, my sister, welcome. Oh, you can hear me, thank you. All right, so Sinovia says she can hear me. So, yes, thank you. I'm sure Starman will join us. So feel free to type in the comment section flash guest, and we'll bring you on if you have any contributions to make. Yes, so we're talking about what Ghana is doing, and Ghana has gone ahead to now situate or locate the AFCTA, in Ghana, in Accra. And Twitter has gone to Ghana, and Nigeria was behaving like the second wife that is so, the second wife of a very rich man who is left
jealous
behind,
second wife,
and nagging and nagging and nagging, but not wanting to do the things that make these things, possible. Well, Starman, you're back, but I still can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Yes, go ahead.
Okay. I don't know what happened. So yeah, apart from like I said about what Ghana did towards reconciliation, number one was the state as apologizing. Number two was trying to symbolically they shed a lot of the vestiges of colonialism, like for one the slave name.
Again. Please check
Wow.
your connection. Your audio is
okay, can you hear me now?
Oh, wow.
Can you hear me?
Yes. So
I don't know.
Say something. I can't hear you now.
Can you hear me? Can still? All right. Wow.
I can hear you.
How about now?
It's a shame. I don't know what's going on, but we're gonna just talk to it. So really quickly, Ghana now has one of the days where Nigeria was, everything just came to Nigeria. Most things, at least in West Africa, Nigeria will be the first consideration. Of course, we're very happy that the other African countries are moving on, but we were wondering, why does it always have to be that one brother or one country always have to fall for the other to rise? In Europe, you have all the European countries, especially the Western European countries, all developing at the same pace, all moving forward at the same pace. There is competition, healthy competition. Why is it so that on the African continent, once the moment a particular country is doing well, another country has to suffer, and at this point, we are so happy for what Ghana is doing. We're proud of Ghana and Ghanaians, and everyone wants a Ghanaian passport nowadays, yes, because who doesn't want to carry a passport that when you walk through the different countries' immigration system, that you are treated like with respect, like a human being, that the mere mention of the country you come from just doesn't make you a suspect, and you're taken to a particular area to be searched, and your suitcases are, literally every cranny, every equipment, every device they have, they want to go your suitcase to see that something is not eating because they're carrying a particular passport. Starman, go
Yeah.
ahead.
Yeah, sorry, I don't know what's going on with my mic, but so uh so they largely tried to get rid of a lot of the vestiges that came with colonialism, like the slave name
Oh,
of Gold Coast. Well, I've gone off again.
And I can't continue. If I can't hear him, it means that I can't respond to what he's saying. Okay, just to fix this, whilst we're waiting, there is a video I want to play. This is a video, a documentary that was done, no, an interview that was carried out by Channels Television back home in Nigeria just a couple of days ago. And when we listen to what the gentleman says, I'm going to then come back and play a second video that will help us begin to analyze the reason why we want to talk about a country that is not African continent, which is Afghanistan. Why are we concerned about the situation in Afghanistan? How does it affect us? So we'll first take this video of this interview from Channels Television.
Sentiment is that there are a group of people in this country that feels that this country should be Islamized. This is a fact. I say you want me to start mentioning names of people in this government that we have interrogated. It's not about sentiments. Is that there are a group of people in this country that feels that this country should be Islamized. This is a fact.
Oh, there is some kind of technical issue. I don't know. It's probably not Starman's fault. I've just realized because the video we're playing also went mute.
For people in this government that we have interrogated. I was a member of an interrogation team, and I've interrogated a very high-ranking member of this government in 2007, 2008 on the issue of Boko Haram. I interrogated him. He's in this government right now. And what was the issue? Boko Haram. And this senior officer was actually let go because he was found culpable. But right now he's in the government. You see, we must say the truth, because if you don't, this country is going down the precipice. We have been set back more than 60 years right now. We've gone back to the time before 1966 now. And whoever is coming back to repair this country has a lot of work to do. This country has never been polarized, so we cannot run away from it. We have never been this much polarized. I'm a federal person. My mind is federal. My brain is federal. My loyalty is federal. I do things for the federal government. So I cannot come here and try to be sentimental. No, I'm a federal person.
So will your life be at risk now that they're hearing you?
I don't care. I don't care. And my colleagues, they know me. Those people that listen to me, they know me. I don't care. The issue is that this country is bigger than an individual. That is the issue. This country is bigger than individuals. Buhari will come and go. Eliminating me or killing me will not solve the problem and will not add value. But he will come and go. And somebody must come and repair the damage to the psyche of this society, the damage to the polarization, to the nepotism that I've never seen in my life. I work with all these presidents. This is the worst situation I've found myself. And believe me, internet does not forget. I was part of the people that helped to bring Buhari to government because I believe in him.
Have you worked with the government after that?
After
you helped bring the government?
Oh, of course, I worked with him. We brought him in 2015, and I work as the Deputy Director of Defense Administration. And we have a lot of hope in him. And we actually are ready to do anything for him. what he has turned out over the years is shocking to us. I was in Harvard in 2014, in December, when the Department of State Services and CIA and others were contemplating about Buhari and other aspirants. I know what we did to convince the American government that the only person that can come and put this country right is Buhari. That was before the Lagos, APC, before they chose within.
Right.
And that was how Tinubu came in. We know what we did, but what he has done in the past 6 years is shocking. It's unprecedented. And it should not be allowed to be swept under the carpet, because the damage to the psyche of this country is monumental. We'll talk.
Yeah. So I've just realized that we're having a little bit of a problem, but the rest of you can hear. So I'm just going to carry on with our conversation with Starman after I play this video. The next video I'm going to play. This video is a short documentary done a long time ago, but it speaks volume. The reason I want to play it is after you've listened to this gentleman talking about the situation in Nigeria, and then you listen to this video, this documentary, it's probably going to help you have a clear picture as to what is going on around the world and how what has happened in Afghanistan affects us on the African continent, especially at the moment, Nigeria. So I'm going to bring Starman back, but after this video.
Was America's role in supporting Afghan warlords known as the Mujahideen. The official story is that America backed these fundamentalists in response to the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan in December 1979. But that's not true. It was 6 months before the Soviet invasion, in July of that year, that President Jimmy Carter authorized $500 million to help set up the Mujahideen, a terrorist organization. The American people were completely unaware that their government, together with the British Secret Service, MI6, had begun training and funding Islamic extremists, including Osama bin Laden. Out of this came the Taliban, Al-Qaeda, and September the 11th. Soon after the Taliban came to power in 1996, the administration of Bill Clinton backed a secret plan for a pipeline through Afghanistan from Central Asia, which has vast reserves of oil and gas. The Taliban were offered a generous cut in the deal and secretly invited to Washington and Texas. They were treated royally, taken shopping and flown to tourist attractions like the NASA Space Center and Mount Rushmore. Their tour was so secret that no television news covered it. Most Americans knew nothing. By the time George W. Bush came to power, the link between Al-Qaeda and the Taliban was an embarrassment, and September the 11th gave Bush an opportunity to get rid of them. Today, Afghanistan is run by a regime installed by the Americans, and the pipeline deal is going ahead. September the 11th also presented an opportunity to an influential group who, even by Republican Party standards, were extreme. Ray McGovern is a former senior officer of the Central Intelligence Agency, the CIA, and a personal friend of George Bush Sr., the president's father.
The same people who are running U.S. policy now are people that the president's father kept at arm's length. They were referred to in the circles in which I moved when I was briefing at the top intelligence and policy levels. They were referred to as the crazies.
The crazies also include Donald Rumsfeld, seen here in Baghdad in 1986, warmly greeting Saddam Hussein, who was then being armed to the teeth by America and Britain.
The problem with America is not that we go around marauding around the world imposing ourselves. The problem with America in the last 10, 15 years since the end of the Cold War, really in the last 60 years, is that we've been too slow to get involved in conflicts.
Outside America, people have worried about the United States conducting an unprovoked attack on a country, a sovereign country.
Are they? Are they?
Yes, they are.
Really? They're
Yeah.
worried we're going to attack Britain, France,
No,
Germany,
no,
any democracy?
No, because
any decent regime?
No, the United States doesn't usually attack strong countries.
Do we attack decent countries?
No, I said strong countries.
Well, I'm asking decent countries.
I don't know
Are
what
people
you would
really
call,
worried the U.S. is going to go, a decent,
I-
law-abiding country, and the U.S. is going to come in and say, we don't like the look of you, we're going to depose you? Is that something the U.S. has done quite often? How many countries has the U.S. attacked in the last 15 years?
Well, since World War II, there have been 72 interventions by the United States.
Oh, is that right?
Yes.
That's ludicrous.
Well, it's not ludicrous, it's true.
Interesting. I do hope Starman is back. I'm going to have a bit of a difficulty hearing him, even though I know the rest of you can hear him, because I'm not able to hear him after a while. But I'm going to bring him back, and I'll try my best to see how I can, circumvent whatever the problem is. Well, if you listened to the interview from Nigeria, and then you listen to this documentary that I've just played, you'll pick one or two things. Some people say that we're paranoid. I watched an Instagram live of Aisha Yesufu, who I have a lot of regard for. And when I heard what she had to say about Nigerians talking about the Islamization of Nigeria and making it seem like we're paranoid and it's a bogus, it's bogus to even think that that's even possible. Then I just realized that, yes, we can be very smart in many ways, but we're not always really smart in everything, every single person. Because for us, maybe her perception about what's going on is also viewed from the fact that she's a Muslim woman. But we've seen around the world that the sort of atrocities going on in Afghanistan does not only affect Christians, it also affects Muslims. So when we begin to look at what is going on, how that man who has the privilege of talking to very high-ranking people in the Nigerian government, he made a statement and he said that he has interrogated someone who is a sponsor of Boko Haram in 2013 or 2007, thereabouts. And that person is a high-ranking member of the Buhari's administration today. And then when you look at the killings happening in Nigeria and why the Nigerian government is not condemned by the Western powers, when you look at how state governors in Nigeria are crying out, they are stifled, they are, the federal might is being used to invade certain space in Nigeria, and then certain people in Nigeria are being forgiven. For instance, for people who don't know much of what's going on in Nigeria, is that the people who declare themselves Boko Haram or bandits or terrorists are being paid so much money as ransom money to release innocent people they have kidnapped. Some they've killed, some they have raped. These people are then brought in and the government is absorbing them and bringing them back into the system. Some of them, they will find their way into the Nigerian army. On the other side of Nigeria, we have in the east of Nigeria, we have unarmed civilians who the army is sent to attack. The might of the army is used against these people for the flimsiest reasons or excuses. It doesn't make sense. Everyone is trying to make sense of what is going on. It does not make sense. And so when somebody like Aisha Yesufu begins to not see beyond what is in the open. We heard the other day a high-ranking member of the United States government was in Afghanistan to visit the head of the Taliban. Briefly or shortly after having a meeting with this person, they override the entire country and everybody is seen running for dear life. You know, so when you look at these things and you begin to analyze a little bit, think a little deeper, you cannot but begin to worry about the scripts that is awaiting to play out on the African continent. Starman.
Yes. Where should I start? I mean, okay, I'll start from the last thing you said, you know, about the script that's about to play out on the African continent. And people that still to do with people that think there is no Islamization going on. Now, if you look around, you see that the Muslim world is a very restless part of the planet. And they've been restless from going back for many years. They're always fighting, there's always conflict going on. And when you go behind the scenes and look at what's going on, they're always even getting support from the Western world. I mean, it's hard to believe that after 20 years of dominating Afghanistan, suddenly the US will just up and go, surrendering thousands of vehicles to them, hundreds of, even now, Taliban now have helicopter, now have aircraft. They now have night vision, you know. And you see, like I said, when you look behind the scene, you always find that the West is, you know, Western. You have to even ask, okay, the Muslim world has this quarrel with the West, which is what the West tagged terrorism. Well, you still find them carrying Western-made weapons. How are they getting these things? If you look behind the scenes, you realize that from the beginning of time, the Muslim world and the West, they've been partners in crime. They've always done their crimes together. And as we all know, in any camp of thieves, there is no honor. So from time to time, they'll fight over the spoils, over the share, but they still understand that they work together. And the West uses the Muslim world as their, well, especially the terrorist extremist elements. They use them as their dogs of war. So now, what exactly did America achieve in Afghanistan? They've literally made things worse 20 years later. 20 years ago, the Taliban didn't have modern weaponry. They didn't have night vision goggles. They didn't have MPADs, shoulder launch missiles. Today, they do, and they still have control of the country. And today, with a longer list of people to kill, today, they even now have biometric technology. Let's not forget that Issa Pantami has been gathering up all our biometrics in Nigeria.
They even have the Black Hawk helicopters.
Helicopters, yes. They now have Black Hawk helicopters. Okay, let's leave Afghanistan. Let's go to Iraq. America came to Iraq. Hey, we're coming to liberate you guys. By the time they left Iraq, ISIS was formed. I shouldn't, at this stage, I shouldn't even say surprise, surprise. It comes to light that American weapons were finding their way to ISIS. And people started even asking, okay, ISIS was being run, sustained, they were sustaining themselves on Iraq's oil. Who were they selling the oil to? Okay. We go to Libya. They told us how Gaddafi this, Gaddafi that. Gaddafi, who, me personally, I consider one of the few good Muslims of our times towards Africans. The only Muslim I've ever seen apologize for what the Muslims did to Africans during their trans-Saharan slave trade. But the West, suddenly, Gaddafi this, Gaddafi that. Look at what they've done to Libya now. The places are awash with Western-made weapons that have now trickled down into the whole of Africa. And we're telling these people, we're telling these Western people who control our destinies, because we can only have referendum when they say we can. If they say, if Katrina Liang says the unity of Nigeria is sacrosanct, then everybody should forget referendum. We're telling them, look, they are trying to Islamicize us. Look, every day, killing, killing, killing. In a country there's no war, there's more killing than even Syria, where there's war. But nobody's doing anything. Like I said, during slavery, the West used to sail from the West with their ships to buy the slaves who were being captured by the Muslims in the north, Fulani, Tuareg, Shua Arabs, capturing us to sell to the West. They've been business partners for a long time. And like I've been saying, the West, I mean, when people hear things like, some people control the world or some people want to take over the world, yes, sometimes it sounds so outlandish, it's like a joke. But to be honest, I think if there's you know how they always say, follow the money. If you follow the money, you know what's going on. If you follow the money and you begin to understand capitalism, you understand that conspiracies are not always far from the truth even. If you understand what capitalism is, then you understand why some people on this planet will just want you dead. Even though you don't know them, they don't know you, but just because they want something that's on your land, they will rather you dead. And maybe they're now in a position where they feel their hands are too clean because they've gone around the whole world, like Britain and America, parading themselves as the police of the world and the champion of human rights. But they still want to kill you. So, but they've been showing the whole world, look, our hands are clean. We are the police of the world. Human rights, human rights. But because follow the money, if you follow the money that's sustaining these countries, and you realize that they are the same weapons. Fulani don't make weapons. Where's all the AK-47, 49 coming from? We've seen videos of Britain supplying armored personnel carriers to the Nigerian army, who, I don't know if people know this, the Nigerian army is older than Nigeria. The Nigerian army is about 159 or 162 years old, something like that. Nigerian army existed before Nigeria was created. Nigerian army was the original slave raiding army Fulani used to use. And then when they went in alliance with Britain, Britain converted them to warrant chief army to hold us down, converted them to West African Volunteer Force, included Ghanaians, basically any West African that's now starts singing the colonizers' hymn. Join them. Nigerian army is what they used to colonize our forefathers. And they are still using it as a slave raiding an army. Basically, does Nigerian army go to war? But look how they're running around Nigeria like as if there's a war going on. A war against our own people. That just shows you they only know what they've been trained to do from 160-something years. To clamp the people down. You know, they are supplying them Tucano fighter, same Western-made weapons. Meanwhile, this government are supplying. You see, one thing people need to understand there. The West doesn't. The West. Why do you think they support dictators? If it's in their interest, they don't care whether it's even terrorists that are in charge. Before they killed Saddam, Saddam was their best friend. They were using him to keep the Middle East in check. Before they got rid of Libya, they brought him in, they settled with him, brought him in from the cold. Next thing, there was some economic dispute, and they thought, we don't need this guy again. They are using Buhari. You also how Obama came and gave Buhari the 2015 election. Why is America interfering in Nigeria's elections? Telling Nigeria, where did Obama get the effrontery to be telling Nigerians that the unity of Nigeria must be sacrosanct? Is a task worth doing? Who sent him? Who asked him? You know, apart from the fact that he destroyed Libya, destabilizing the whole region, that has now spread to us, after pretty much laying the foundation, telling us the task of Nigeria must remain sacrosanct, and then virtually sanctioned the voting in of Buhari. And look what he's done now. And look at Obama, he's in peace, running around doing seminars for $500,000 per seminar, living life. After causing, basically, Obama set off the first reaction in a chain of events that's going to lead to the greatest genocide in human history. What is the last thing he said about, Islam? Well, what he said about Islamizing Nigeria. It's not only Nigeria they want to Islamize. They want to Islamize the whole of Africa. I still can't believe people haven't even heard of the OIC, Organization of Islamic Countries. These people, 30 years ago, they came out and said that the population of, nobody knows where they got the figures. And the figures are even not true. That the population of Africa is 60% Muslim. And by virtue of that, they believe Africa should become a Muslim continent. And they started working towards it till today. That's what's happening today. When I look at West Africans, Ghanaians, Beninois, thinking that what's going on in Nigeria is not coming to them, I shake my head. Nigeria, Nigeria is just Nigeria is part of an ongoing, something that started since when they had that OIC event where they declared that they would convert the whole of Africa into a Muslim continent. Started with Sudan. The Northern Sudanese, who have Arab blood in them, did not like the Southern Sudanese, who are pure Nilo-Saharans, and they tried to genocide them off the land. And as it happened, which is a similar situation in Nigeria, it was the South where the riches were, the oil. Southern Sudan, Northern Sudan today, since South has got independence, they are now struggling. No more free oil money. But they wanted to kill their own Southern citizens just because they were of a different ethnic stock to take the land, which is what the Northerners now, the Fulani, want to do in Nigeria. They started this thing in Sudan. After that, their conference.
Unfortunately, there's a bit still the technical issue where I have to kill the sound to be able to talk, to listen to you. So when I do mute you, I can't hear what you're saying, just so that we don't have a feedback. The sad part, though, is that Africa is not in unison in the approach and the way we think. And because we're not in unison, we do not understand what is going on. That is not just about Nigeria. It might be Nigeria today, and then it's going to keep, spreading. On the African continent today, you have certain countries doing very well. You have Rwanda, you have Ghana, to mention, but if you have Tanzania to a great extent.
Botswana.
And you begin to wonder. We don't hate or dislike our Muslim brothers and sisters on the continent. But for the people who are not Muslims, it's a big deal to go to bed to think about these things, whether it is, as some people will call it, a conspiracy theory or some kind of paranoia. But the handwriting seemed to be on the wall. Just a few days ago, I watched a video where a Nigerian mobile police officer, I believe, did a video, and he said they were instructed never to go after the bandits, the Fulani headsmen, the Boko Haram. Literally, they know they're in there in the bush killing, but they've been ordered not to go after these people. And these people are causing mayhem and killing, maiming, raping innocent villagers most of the time. When you hear things like this, and then you hear a high-ranking officer come on national television to talk about, to affirm these things. How in the name of God can you marry the fact that the West that we think is allowing this to happen are not even they're not an Islamic country or Muslims themselves as a government or as a country, by large. They allow them, but then they will allow for the Islamization of Africa. What is the logic behind it? Go ahead.
Have you ever wondered why is it that Britain gave Southern Nigerians Christianity? But anytime there's conflict, they are supporting the Muslims. That just tells you that they work together with the Muslims to enslave us. That's their first relationship. Them giving us Christianity was to enslave us further. And anytime we look like we're going against their grain, they use the Muslims to knock us back to where the position they want us. So even though they give us Christianity, what the main aim is to keep us enslaved with the Christianity and with Muslims who they are not even sharing the same religion. And if you ask me, I mean, apart from studying history, I keep a close eye on geopolitics. What I think is happening is, critical to this is understanding capitalism. I think people need to understand capitalism for what it is. Capitalism is a scam. One of the greatest scams ever pulled on the human race. What capitalism is basically you take the planet and you turn it into a giant game of Monopoly. And then you set the rules. And you create something called property rights. And then because you set the rules, you created the monetary system, everything. So you can actually rig the rules so that you can manipulate the money to accrue most of the property in this monopoly game. I keep telling people, what? You think because you're in a capitalist country that you're a capitalist? No, no. If you do not have capital, you are not a capitalist. If you don't have money to start the game, you are out of the game. And what is going on a geopolitical scale is these capitalists, they've used their capitalist game to dominate the world for a long time. And the game is still playing. Basically, what the game is about is using property rights, get every country to denationalize and privatize. And then because you already have capital stored up, you go in, sweep all their juicy assets, their gold mines, their everything, anything you want to buy in their country with your property rights and capital. So you have to ask the question, how is it that the top 500 billionaires on the planet own half the planet? The game for them is about literally owning everything, and everybody becomes a de facto slave, albeit with no chain on your neck. White or black or it doesn't matter this time anymore. If you are not a capitalist, you will be a slave in this ultimate game of monopoly they are playing. Now, as they are playing this game, they can see future clashes with people that are not playing the game with them, like China. And this future coming clash will mean a war like never seen before, Third World War. And I'll tell you this today, go and mark my words. When the third World War will start on African soil, not by Africans, but by China, her interests in Africa, and America and her interests in America. China is already monopolizing African countries. America has more bases on the African continent than any other continent in the world. America has 800 bases worldwide. Most of them are in Africa. Why? What are they even doing in Africa? Nothing tangible, apart from telling African countries, LGBT rights. Okay, but you have the biggest drone base in Niger, next to Nigeria. Meanwhile, the ISIS is now in Nigeria, but you're not doing anything. So what are you doing in Africa with all your military bases? On top of that, you're selling the terrorist infiltrated Nigerian government military-grade weapons. Come on. See, these capitalists here, they use government as an appendage. For them, Muslims are an insurance against the game catching up with them, this capitalist game they're playing. They use Muslims as dogs of war. That in case they're about to lose the game, the plan is you just scatter everything. This is where the Muslims come in for them. They give them arms, give them propaganda, and they start destroying, killing. The reason why they want to Islamicize Africa is because they've seen Jamaica, India, all those countries suing them now for slavery, colonialism, and there's 54 more countries in Africa to come. And the reason they've been struggling, they've been pushing against the current claims. But once the African countries come on board, they can't push against them anymore. That's why they will rather instigate an Africa-wide war to start. An Africa-wide war, disorientate the African. I mean, if war breaks out in Nigeria now, it will take us 20 years to recover before we start talking about, oh yeah, Britain did this, Britain compensated. Nah, at least another 20 years. And this is what they want. That's one. And then two, when the war starts between them and China, they are Muslims they are war dog Muslims. These who they will use as their foot soldiers in Africa. So for them, this is some sort of game. The plan is to own the world, and I mean, we've all seen those videos during COVID where, the plan was the Africans were surplus to requirement. In owning the world, they have to get rid of us because we're sitting on the resources they need.
I just want to take really quickly, Starman, because I'm intentional today that our broadcast will not be too long.
Yeah.
I just want to take quick reads from Facebook and YouTube. Kenny Bell Davy says, most African leaders have no sense of African destiny today, with exceptions of just a few. And Johnny Boy says, let's dump Christianity and Islam in the bin and grab back our culture to unite us. Africa unity. Osagefo Dr. Kwame. Osagefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah said, forward ever, backward never. Just as we round up, today's broadcast, if the West refuse to hear the cry of the ordinary citizens of the different countries that are going through oppression by their own government, if the West refuse to cry human rights, support us, because the evidence is there. in this generation of social media, it's been out there, the killings in Nigeria, and the killings in DRC, the killings
in Mozambique,
everywhere on the African continent.
Yes.
It's everywhere. I mean, when in 2015, when the Chibok girls were abducted from their school, social media was not even this powerful as it is today. Yet, the voices of Barack Obama and his wife, and of course the rest of us who believed in them at the time, was able to, cause the havoc that took away, removed President Jonathan from office. But today, you hear Nigerians are crying. I call Nigerians often because that's the one that I know on a daily basis, the stories that are happening, The Oduduwas, the Yoruba-speaking people, are crying out, wanting to self-determine or secede. The Biafrans are doing the same. And then the other ethnic groups in Nigeria are beginning to lend their voices, and yet the entire world seem to be deaf towards these voices. Now, are we saying that we are too weak as a people if we really understand the game that is going on, because we don't have the guns, because we don't have the gadgets that America will not give to us? Are we saying that we are doomed, that the script will actually be played out and that there is no way out? Is that something that we're sitting down and looking forward to happening? Everyone watching, just type in your comments, type in your thoughts. What is going to be the way out? What are we going to do?
Now, first things first, the biggest problem is what's in our heads individually. And one of the things in our heads that's a big problem, especially us who are the victims in all of this, the Christian Africans, because we're not the ones killing. It's the Muslim Africans that are the ones killing their Christian Africans on behalf of Western agendas. Now, like I said, the problem is the actual Christianity that's in our heads. Because when the Arabs brought Christianity to Africa and put it into the heads of our African brothers, the Muslim Africans, what the Arabs did with Islam was to turn those African brothers into dogs of war and to use them to do more conquest. When the Europeans came and put Christianity in our heads, they were trying to pacify us, and Christianity turned us in, oh, they slap you, turn to the other cheek. They were trying to pacify us so that we'll just be looking at them, robbing our resources and doing nothing. And these two states of mind are now was at conflict. This is why I keep saying, Africans seem to be Christian or Muslim even before being an African. Because before we had this African and Christian, Muslim and Christian mindset, we were not killing. We didn't have a culture of killing each other. But now we're killing each other because of these two mindsets. One turns you aggressive. One turns you, hey, I don't know what to do. Hey, please, God, please help me. That's why this thing looks hopeless for us now. Because the Christians, everything we've talked about tonight, most Christians watching us, in their heads, they don't know what to do. Because they can't even imagine picking up a gun to go and to shoot someone in defending their own self. Because to them, it's abhorrent just to kill. This is the problem. Even if you get guns and handed it to Christians, many of them would, no, I can't fight. No, please, I can't. Because they've been the religion has pacified them. Now, another thing people need to realize, I keep saying this, if any Africans think we're going to get through this without a fight, without bloodshed, Is the bloodshed not already going? Is it not our own blood that's being shed? Do you think, so you think just by begging, running, it will stop? See, every living thing is designed with the instinct to defend itself. This is why Christianity is not ordinary. It has squashed that instinct in us. We're not even defending. All we know is to run. Just run, abandon. Just run away. Even a cat will defend itself against a rat, cockroach, anything will defend itself against any threat. But look at us in southern Nigeria. When people rise up to even try and defend us, out of just a paralyzing fear, we sabotage them. You know, look, anybody listening to this, you must be ready to fight. And when I mean fight, I'm talking about you must be ready to carry gun. You must be ready to dedicate your life to this because your future and your children's future would depend on it. People don't understand. People think, you know, when I see Nigerians complain about how hard their life is, do you know how many I keep telling them, look, but if you can just rise up and fight now, then the rest of your life will be easier. The reason your life is hard every day is because you've not fought the battle you need to fight. If you can just muster the courage, rise up, fight that fight, yes, people will die, yes. But people are dying now anyway. This is the problem sub-Saharan Africans have. The religion has blunted us. We have no more fighting spirit.
Yeah, I agree. It's a, like you said, because of my Christian upbringing, I also struggle to want to accept that it's the way out. But I mean, the reality is that it's the way out, because somebody cannot just come kill you, do anything to you, and you sit down there hoping for some divine intervention to come and strike that person down. You know,
there's no divine intervention coming. There's no West coming.
It's a shame that we haven't been able to proffer any solutions other than the violent way out. And the reason why we are stuck in this is because we allowed for who might be the enemy to be the one that produces and give us food. Literally, that's what it means. Because there is not one country on the African continent that can boast of, producing something that can sustain its people without, any kind of importation of foreign goods. Food, water, everything we depend on the outside.
Even weapons to defend ourselves.
Yes. So today we've not been able to proffer a solution or suggest ways to get ourselves out of this mess. But as we go away, maybe it will give us a reason to begin, we begin to have something to begin to reason upon, think on how we can, in our little ways, educate our communities and begin to look for ways out of this mess, because it is some kind of serious mess that we find ourselves in, but a lot of us still don't realize that. Someone will say, what has Afghanistan got to do with Africa? But you look at what happened in Libya and how the entire Africa is now so vulnerable, and Nigeria is on the verge of a full-blown war, basically, but no one wants to say it. It's sad, but we keep talking. Some people say, all we do is talk. What can we do? What we can do right now is to keep talking. When you were talking, Starman, of course, there are things that open up in my mind, in my spirit, and I believe it happened for other people too, where we just come to that realization and say, aha, it is true. This is the reason. And so we're going to call it a day on today's broadcast. But we, as Africans on the continent and in the diaspora, must understand and learn, read about other countries, other cultures. If you're Black, it affects you. Find out, begin to know the history. Like somebody wrote here, he says, there was this, can I have that? I'm gonna quickly take a read. I remember I saw a comment from Johnny Boy who says, Professor James Small said, learn your history to erase white man mystery. We don't know the history of Black people, and that's where the bulk of the problem comes from. I was commenting on Facebook on a page, and the first person who came to attack, someone asked a question about Nigeria and Nigerians, I can't remember, and this person is an African American sister, and the first thing her response was, because all Nigerians, she says, because all Nigerians are busy scamming and defrauding people on WhatsApp and Facebook, something like that. And I thought, how ignorant can this person be? She's African American. We are in a dispensation where we're trying to disabuse our minds and, open up our minds. And she thinks of Nigerians like that. And she thinks that the entire Nigeria is full of only scammers and fraudsters. So as Black people, we owe it to ourselves to educate ourselves about Black people on the continent and everywhere else. Because until we understand and know our history, there is no way out. We're going to continue to be the tools that they keep using to destroy us. And on that note, I'm just going to say thank you. Synovia Reedy says religion has a stronghold on our race. Why don't we ask why? We just believe and never questioned, and that will be our demise. Sad. I do hope that we have another chance. Thank you, Starman.
Thank you.
I know with you, we can never, ever do a broadcast that is under 1 hour, even though I begged you. Right. Thank you, everyone, for joining. And we will come on live again as just whenever we can, because as life has gone back to relatively normal, it's becoming a challenge to broadcast as frequently as we would love to. But as much as we can, we will do. Thank you, everyone, and take care. If you haven't liked, followed, or subscribed to our channels, please do so. It is Africa Rise TV on YouTube, Africa Rise TV on Facebook, and Africa_Rise.tv on Instagram. Like, share, invite people, subscribe to our channel. Why are we still struggling to hit the numbers? If we've had the numbers that we need to have on our YouTube channel and Facebook, then we won't have to even worry about, not coming on here every day. There's so much to do, so much to talk about, so much enlightenment to bring, but we need to make sure that we support this platform to grow and grow really, really fast. Thank you, and see you next time. Take good care. Bye-bye.